Hi everyone, I'm Barbara Ray, and did you know of the 7 species of deer in North America, we just have one here in Ohio, the white-tailed deer. We see a lot of deer here in the city, especially in the spring and again in the fall. Our white-tailed deer are browsers, but they eat a wide variety of food. Anything with leaves is typically the food that they're going to go for, and unfortunately that sometimes does mean our landscape plants like hosta or other tasty leafy green plants. One of the things that we can do about that is to plant undesirable plants out further in the garden and keep our more valuable plants closer to the building. Plants that the deer tend to avoid unless they're really hungry are going to be plants that have strange textures or have spines or have a very, very bitter taste. Deer will be moving through most backyards at some point, and one of the things we can do to dissuade them from hanging around is to definitely not feed them. A lot of the foods that people might try to feed deer actually are not very good for deer, as they don't handle things like corn very well, although they will eat it. But by avoiding feeding them, we can discourage them from having close contact with people and our gardens. We are heading into the fall rut, so our male deer have a full set of antlers right now. They also might be rubbing on trees, especially young trees. So one thing you can do to protect your small trees is to wrap them with some wire fencing to keep the buck's antlers from tearing some of the bark off of those trees. It also means you're going to see a lot more deer activity as the animals are moving through the yard during their breeding season. In the spring, the moms are going to be having their fawns right around the 1st of May and all through the month of May and early June. This is a time when they're going to be extremely defensive, especially of their youngest fawns that cannot follow the mom for the first 2 weeks because they're just too small and they can't keep up. If you do come across a mother deer, you might see babies, you might not, but if she's standing her ground or coming toward you, she's probably just defending her fawns, and the best thing to do is back away and head a different direction and probably avoid that area for about 10 days. You also might carry a pop-out umbrella with you, especially if you're walking a dog. Most deer are defending against your dog and not against you, and you can pop this out as protection for yourself and your dog as you move away. If you have a brightly colored umbrella that pops out, has a bright pattern on it, most wildlife is going to move away or at least stop. One of the ways you can help solve some of your deer issues is to contact us directly through our Go Dublin app. If you have a wildlife question or concern, or you want to report some behavior that you're seeing in some of our deer, you can use the Go Dublin app and choose the wildlife section, and I will get those messages right away, and I usually can respond to you very quickly. Whose scat is that? If you're trying to identify deer scat in your yard, it looks a little bit like small berries in a little pile on the ground. It also looks very similar to rabbit scat, so it might be hard to tell the difference between the two at first until you actually see some of the animals that are in your yard. We certainly understand the frustration that deer can cause with landscape damage, pets, and other issues. Unfortunately, deer management solutions are complex, and there are no easy solutions. Due to the complexity of the issue, the city is taking steps to determine a course of action.